you, Senator Booker. Mr. Campbell, thank you for being here. To your family, thank you for serving as well. Let's just talk about North Korea. You've said that North Korea is a land of bad options. Tell me if you've got any creative ideas for risk reduction. Cards on the table, I think CVID is a fantasy. I think that we have been engaged in magical thinking for quite a while. And I'm wondering if, you're known as a pragmatist and someone who understands the region really well. What do we do? Because clearly our current policy, which, by the way, has been the policy of, on a bipartisan basis for 20-odd years, it's clearly not working. What should we do?
Well, look, Senator Schwartz, let me just say... Schatz, I'm sorry. I will say this has flummoxed American diplomats for decades. But I'm concerned, as you are, that we're heading into a new period, and that period could be quite concerning. The steps that we've taken to date have been primarily to strengthen the regional deterrent around North Korea, what we've done with Japan and South Korea and other countries as well. And I think that's important. The last constructive diplomatic engagement that we had with North Korea was the aborted meeting in Vietnam between Kim Jong-un and President Trump. Essentially, since then, the North Koreans have rebuffed every effort that we have utilized to try to reach out to them. I will just say, Senator, that we have tried some what I thought were creative, inventive approaches. We've offered vaccines during the height of challenge that North Korea faced with respect to COVID. We've offered certain kinds of engagements on humanitarian grounds. We've had difficulty getting any takers, even in addressing our letters or approaches to them. I do think this is something that requires deeper consultations with allies and partners. I'm concerned that North Korea has taken very dangerous steps with respect to Russia providing military equipment to Russia's campaign. I'm concerned that North Korea continues to perfect its long-range missile and nuclear capabilities in ways that are antithetical not only to the region but to the United States as well. And so, to be honest, I share your concerns. I am worried that North Korea in the current environment has decided that they are no longer interested in diplomacy with the United States. And that means that we're going to have to focus even more on deterrence.
Two more questions, 2 more minutes. Tell me why it's important that we ratify the Law of the Sea Treaty.
Well, look, Senator Schatz, I will say this. This is a treaty that was negotiated in another time, right? In the 1960s. We abide, even though it's been signed but not ratified.
We abide, yeah.
I know that. I know you understand it. But it makes it hard for other countries that we contest with who say, hey, you can't hold us accountable to something that is not your own law. So it's been a challenge for us. I think the reason that I'm primarily interested in it is that it will provide a framework for how to think about areas in which China is contesting our sovereign interpretations in the South China Sea and elsewhere. And I think that is difficult for us because even our allies and partners say, hey, wait a second, you're holding China to account to something that you yourself
haven't signed up for.
Yeah. So I'd love to see that possible. There's another renewed effort to go forward. I think we've gotten very close in the past. I'd love to get that over the finish line. I think it'll be challenging. I'm committed to it.
I think we can get the votes because I think the politics has changed as we understand the urgent need for us to act together collectively on a competition with China. Final question, and it's a little technocratic, but how are you going to divide portfolio with Mr. Verma? Or if you don't know yet, that's a fair enough answer.
Yeah. So the one thing I will commit to you is there are very few people that I hold in higher regard than Rich Verma. He's a longstanding friend. I don't know if it's possible to be more well prepared He's been a diplomat. He's a PhD. He's a business degree. He's been in the Air Force. He is an extraordinarily able diplomat. He is primarily responsible for resources in the department, but my own view is that we're missing his skills on the field. And I want to make sure, working with Secretary Blinken and the other key members, that we make sure that his real skills, not only in budgets and management, are seen in the field to play diplomatically.
Yeah, that's a fair enough answer, but I want you to sort of iterate this over time, but I think it's important for the, frankly, committee members and their staffs to kind of know who to talk to about what, and so I'd like to sort that a little further.